Welcome to a new edition of Whiteboard Friday. My name is Aleyda Solis, and in today's edition, I am going to share with you my top 7 newsletter growth tips that I have learned through my own success and failures with my 3 newsletters: the SEOFOMO newsletter, AI marketers, and marketing FOMO. So hopefully you learn from those, let's say, actions that I have taken that have had the expected or even better growth that I plan to have, and avoid all the challenges that I have gone through in the last few years. Let's go through them. The first one, run giveaways. Potentially this is the one that I think that has worked pretty well in the best possible way recurrently. Like, of course, people love free stuff. This is nothing new. But I believe here that it is critical to provide something that is actually easy for you to deliver, because sometimes if you do giveaways or run giveaways of physical swag, for example, or actual physical products that you need to deliver, sometimes the delivery costs can be much higher than the actual value of the products. I once had to send a mug that pretty much costed €6 to India, I believe, and that costed me like 40-something euros, right? So that is definitely something that you don't want to go through. So giveaways, make it something relevant in your sector, something that is easy to deliver again. So in my case, since I am in SEO, for the SEOFOMO newsletters, the giveaways that have worked in the best possible way were those in which I gave away tools, software, online courses, and the giveaway that worked the best was the one of pretty much it had a bundle of 20K worth of tools, and it's something that I of course highlighted, and it worked pretty well. So there's definitely that. Something also to take into account potentially is that whenever you bundle the rewards or the awards of the giveaways, try to make it in a way that it will satisfy any type of profile of your audience. Allow me to explain. The person I remember that won the big 20K worth of tools and resources giveaway was someone who was just starting in SEO. So the person got in touch with me and said, look, I thank you very much. I love the giveaway, but potentially I'm just starting, so I just want to have the access of the online free course community that you're giving, and the basic tools. But all of these tools, I wouldn't know what to do with them. So you're free to give them to another person. That was something very kind of the person, of course, to do. But it made me realize that the next time I should bundle better the awards so it works better and satisfy to whoever win the giveaway. The second one, free resources, magnets, like lead magnets. This is nothing new, but the thing is how you run them, right? And me, especially as an SEO myself too, those landing pages with just a headline, not saying much of what the user will find behind after they register or subscribe to it, that kills me. I believe that the best way to run these free resources magnets is, yes, you need to set a landing page, you need to explain what it is about. You can also provide ebooks, tools, online courses. The ones that have worked great for me have been of the free checklists and cheat sheets and dashboards that I continue expanding all the time and frequently. So it gives me the chance to promote them now and then again. Also, like longer trials of very well-known tools that I have included in them too. So I have this SEO checklist, cheat sheet, tools, resources, bundles, and I list them, I explain what they are about. I provide pretty much like a good description of the expectations of what the user can actually expect to get access to once that they subscribe. So they are not on the roam, they don't unsubscribe later on. That is, I believe that this is what I want to avoid, right? They just subscribe just to get access to the resources, but because you don't deliver you don't align what you provide with the expectations, they will unsubscribe later on. This is the worst that can happen. So it's important that the way that you communicate and promote them, I believe, and you continuously expand on them. So there's also this, interest to keep them as a subscriber, or for them to keep as subscribers, because they know that you will be providing them more and more. These are also resources that, for example, I give access to and I link to in my welcome email. Whenever someone subscribe to the newsletter and confirm their subscription, they will get a welcome email explaining what the newsletter is about, when they will receive the next one, linking to the previous edition, and linking to all of the resources that they pretty much have access to, because these are the resources for those subscribers. So they will always have access to them. The referral program is the third one. So this is funny because this was one of the things that I tried to do but as soon as I got SEOFOMO running. And when I started 5 years ago in 2020, pretty much there was no solution that was easy to implement for newsletters. But then Sparkloop was launched a few months literally after that, and it really facilitated the implementation, because it's a solution that's really thought and designed for newsletter. I'm pretty much sure that at this point there are many others, but since I already use them, well, this is the one that I use, and it's actually integrated with Kit/ConvertKit. So if you run a newsletter with ConvertKit, they provide a solution that is integrated with them, because they are part of the same platform now. But yes, this solution and referral programs in general are, I would say, like the best way to keep your audience, your subscribers, your community engaged, and reward them for referring you, to bring more friends over, to bring colleagues, to bring more subscribers. Again, in this case, I want to highlight the same point that I gave before with the giveaways. Try to design the rewards in a way that they are attractive, meaningful enough for your audience, but are easy to deliver for you, especially at the start, right? You don't want to be having one-on-one calls with the people who have referred you 3 people, because otherwise you will spend your whole day like that, very likely. These are rewards that I leave for those that have referred me 500 subscribers, for example. So make sure that you design the rewards in a way that is something that is attractive, is meaningful in your sector, in your area, but that is also feasible for you to deliver very quickly. Online goods, tools, resources are perfect for this, especially for the first stages of the referral program. The fourth one, the referral network. And this is relatively newer, I would say, since a couple of years ago. It was ConvertKit, now Kit, and Beehive that started to provide pretty much a referral platform that they hosted, a network of newsletters where newsletter creators could subscribe to, and they could opt in of which other newsletters they will refer to whenever they got a new subscriber. So, for example, when someone comes to the subscription landing page of SEOFOMO, after you subscribe, you will see all the newsletters that I recommend you to subscribe to, because they are complementary or they are similar and are relevant for the same type of audience. This is what I expect, right? And the same with others towards SEOFOMO, they will refer me back. And this is great because these 2 platforms now that are the most popular ones for newsletter targeted towards creators, they have this networks of newsletters that are very easy to configure, that allows you to, well, include yourself for free and to refer others for free. There are also some, let's say, features or upgrades possibilities there for you to pay for the referral or to be paid to refer, which I have to say, I haven't tried myself, but there's that. If you want to invest heavily to grow faster, that can be also an option, a possibility for you to test. The 5th one here is social media promotion, very straightforward. Again, I have seen cases, because I have been seeing what other creators do with their newsletter, that have even run Facebook ads, right? And the monetization, let's say, model that they have allows them to do that, right? You don't necessarily need to do that, I will say, if you have a big enough audience, if you consistently and usually engage in social platforms that are relevant towards your audience. So in LinkedIn, for example, or Blue Sky, now and then, whenever you share something new, a resource, a tip, a guide, you can mention later on, these are the same type of tips or resources or guide or news that I share every week or every X days through my newsletter that you can subscribe to for completely for free, stay updated, and a link to your newsletter, or ask your audience to search for your newsletter, so you have a branded search right there. Of course, first confirm that you will rank in the first position for that query, but yes, you can do that too. So I will say that this can be a really good, easy, straightforward way for you to promote and refer to your newsletter. I believe and I think about this, about referring top of the funnel users and audience that you engage with to more bottom of the funnel, because the newsletter is something that you own much more than branded platforms like social media platforms can be. The sixth one, community, online and in-person promotion. So at every single event, meetup that I go to in person, and also in communities where I engage online, my profile is Aleyda Solis, SEO consultant, and also SEOFOMO rapper. Whenever someone asks about newsletters or a resource or whatever that I have shared through SEOFOMO, I engage in a way that I mention that, hey, this is something that I actually know about because I literally just covered it 2 weeks ago or a month ago, right? So there's definitely that. It shouldn't be something to be ashamed of. I know that a lot of people are very self-aware to self-promote, and I totally get it. The key here is to be, let's say, in a way, like to do it in a way that is natural, that is organic, that is spontaneous, that it's not spammy, of course, and only whenever it's relevant for the audience to learn about your newsletter. The seventh and last one is SEO. Of course, myself as an SEO consultant, I know this pretty well, and I have tried to optimize my own SEOFOMO hub and presence to rank first for SEO newsletter. You know what is the tricky part there? That pretty much because of the search intent, the intent of the queries, Google will very much right now rank lists of newsletters that other creators or readers have written about not only a single one, but reviews of the top 10 newsletters of this sector, of the top best newsletters that I am subscribed to about X or Y, right? And even if you have a very amazingly optimized landing page, it's very unlikely that you will end up ranking with your commercially driven page, right? So a good way to achieve this is to also piggyback on this third-party sites reviews, in many cases, talking about the newsletters in your industry. Go on and reach out to them, do a little bit of a connection there, reaching out with this website's owners, asking them, hey, have you tried my newsletter? Have you subscribed to? You can take a look at it, at previous editions here without having to subscribe first, just to show you how useful it can be for your audience and for yourself to subscribe to. And very likely next time that they update, they refresh the page, they will include you. And finally, as a bonus, this is something that might not necessarily be a tactic connected or that you should develop just because of the sake of the growth of the newsletter. But I believe that this, from a product standpoint, this is your main newsletter product, that something that you need to take care of when you think about your newsletter is that it should be a top topic that is niche enough, but also meaningful enough. You should have a good angle, so it gives you new insights to share all the time, that is worthy to keep updated about. And you should do it with consistency, with a consistency or frequency that actually makes sense. Because of course you don't want to spam your audience. I mean, if I send SEOFOMO every day, it could be certainly too much for many of them, and I wouldn't have necessarily half of the time too much to cover new that is actually meaningful in SEO. So it will go against of what I want to actually achieve with the newsletter. So this is the thing, right? You need to balance it out. With SEO FOMO, SEO you might think it's like, it's a niche. Yes, it's a niche, but a lot is happening all the time. A lot is going on all the time, so it is worth it to learn about it and keep updated weekly. And yes, it's a niche, but it has a big enough audience, big enough sub-industry, let's say. Then on the other hand, when I started marketing FOMO a couple of years ago, interesting enough, even if it is even a bigger industry because it encompasses everything digital marketing, realistically, because there are so many other digital marketing newsletters, it has been much harder for me to grow, realistically, right? I keep it going. Consistency is key. I won't stop, but it has been much more difficult because of all of the competition out there, and some of them are even daily. And for some people, it actually makes sense to keep updated daily rather than weekly, right? That is completely fine. Let's see the other example here with AI marketers. AI marketers, I literally started it 3 weeks ago, and it has gone from 0 to 1.2K subscribers in a time that I consider to be a record. This is the thing. When I launched AI marketers, I had a couple of people coming to me, it's like, Aleyda, why did you launch AI marketers? You should have launched AI FOMO. And I know that from a branding perspective, building the FOMO empire here of newsletters, right? But I wanted to call it in a way that was descriptive enough and meaningful so the people knew what they were going to subscribe about. I wanted to make sure that people knew that it was not an AI newsletter in general. Why? Because that is too broad. I would have fallen into the same challenge that with marketing FOMO. AI newsletters, like dozens of them that are sent even daily. And actually at this point, it actually makes sense if you're trying to follow up with everything AI to read them daily. I didn't want that. I wanted to also to do something targeted towards marketers because that is my actual more specific industry. And the angle that I wanted to take is like AI news resources guide, tips, tools targeted to marketers only. And it has proven so far to be attractive enough. So whenever, if you think, okay, I would like to start a newsletter, but is it too niche? Not necessarily. If there's a lot going on that makes sense to follow up with at a weekly basis, why not? Of course, you should balance out and make sure that you provide a lot of signal versus noise type of criteria here that you need to assess, of course. And I hope that with all of these tips and do's and don'ts, you're able to not only start your newsletter from scratch, potentially, but grow it even better, more, focusing on those audiences and those resources that actually make sense for you to keep the effort going. And remember, consistency is key. Don't expect it to grow from one day to another. Yes, it's true that I have these numbers of subscribers at this point, but it has taken 5 years to get there. Keep it going. Thank you very much.